1-2 is hit high in the air, carrying to deep right. Ludwig is out of room. It's off the very top of the wall. Perry around third. He's going to score. McLaren gets a late stop sign. It's an RBI double, feet away from tying the game, but the Panthers are in business. This is slammed in the air to deep right center field, and it is gone. David Yanni missed it the first time, but not in game two. A 3-run bomb, and the Panthers cut the deficit in half.
That was smoked by Yanni. Into the alley and gone.
They have 89 of the team's 253 RBIs. And a rocket through the right side, base hit. Turconi scores the tying run. Frick on the way to the plate. He scores standing as the throw from Popa got cut off. Wake Forest takes the lead. Bobby Seymour, a 2-run single.
Have to factor in the youth of the team, but they've also had veteran guys that have had some miscues out there.
How about Seymour starting with the pitch, which is cranked out to center field. It's blown over Perry's head. 2 runs are home. Muntz with a 4 RBI day, and Wake Forest blows it open here in the 7th, 13-7. How about a line drive shot into left center? That's a base hit. It'll bring home 2. McLaren scores. Yanni scores. It's 3-0 Pitt. It is a glorious afternoon from the University of Pittsburgh. College baseball on ACC Network Extra. Games 2 and 3 between the Pitt Panthers and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons after Pitt won the opening game of the series yesterday by a final of 8-3. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. Alongside Josh Roundtree, I'm Brendan Gulick. What a way for Pitt to finally start this series and get a Friday win in conference.
Yeah, their first Friday win in the ACC this year, and really it was all 3 elements. Got good defense, got timely hitting, and the starting pitching was tremendous.
Yeah, Derek West had the best outing of his career. 12 strikeouts, 1 walk over 6 innings. He was marvelous.
Yeah, the 12 strikeouts last night are the most ever for a Pitt pitcher here at Charles L. Koss Field, and really had it working all over the zone. Swing and misses up in the zone, swing and misses down in the zone. 12 strikeouts. He only pitched 6 innings. He had 2 strikeouts per inning. He was just tremendous last night and a real tone setter for the weekend.
Well, the best news for him was that he kept throwing strike 1 early in the count and worked ahead of hitters. Even better than that, no extra base hits.
Yeah, and the lowest run total for this Wake Forest team since March 31st, and they're a squad that really, they rely on 2-run, 3-run home runs. They rely on big innings. They've had 19 4+ run innings so far this year. Didn't happen last night, and that was key for the Panthers.
ESPN and the ACC bring you ACC Network coming August of 2019. 15 universities all on one network. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. Wake Forest with already 6 runs in Game 2 today, Game 3 of the series. Check out what they did yesterday versus today. Oh, the difference 1 night's sleep makes.
My goodness, 21 more runs, 13 more hits, 19 more RBIs. And when you score 20 in a game, it will help your stats for sure.
Michael Ludwig had a huge impact in Game 1, and he's picked up right where he left off here in Game 2. He was batting in the 8-hole earlier today. Proceeded to go 4 for 4 with a walk, 5 runs scored, a 2-run homer, had a couple of doubles, drove in 3 total runs. So coach said, all right, we're not going to replace Lanzilli and Seymour, but we'll put you up a little higher in the batting lineup, Game 2.
You know, I mentioned it earlier, and I think the biggest difference between last night and today is the approach at the plate for Wake Forest. I thought they were poorly aggressive, is I guess the best way to put it, to the point where they were just going up and swinging at anything last night. And I'm imagining that the talk overnight and this morning with Tom Walter and his coaching staff with their players was, let's see some more pitches, let's work some counts, let's try to lay off the overly aggressive mentality. And you know, early on they worked counts, and then they got aggressive late, and they put the game away because of their aggressiveness late. But they were able to drive up Dan Hammer's pitch count in that first game and get into him a little bit. And I thought that was the big key in that first game. And that really, when you talk about the difference in the offensive numbers, I thought that's where it came from, was just their ability to get on base early and to work counts long and maybe frustrate Pitt's pitchers in game 1 today.
Strike 3 call, dots him up on the inside corner. Beautiful fastball, and Ludwig is down for the first out here in the third. That'll bring up Bruce Steele. You know, you just saw a picture of Coach Walter down to the third base coach's box. Get one more look here at that perfect pitch on the inside corner. Paints the black, and clearly Ludwig wasn't happy. Anyways, you saw Coach Walter down to the third base coach's box, and you alluded it in game 1 that he's taken several different programs at the Division I level to the NCAA tournament. One of them that stood out to me, maybe even more than this Wake Forest team, was his job at New Orleans, as Yanni fields a hot smash, throws it wide, and pulls O'Farrell off the base. That's an error on the shortstop, Yanni. 1 on, 1 out here in the third. And if you look closely at the timeline that Coach Walter was leading that program down in New Orleans, he was right in the thick of things, both during and in the aftermath immediately of Hurricane Katrina. And we asked him about that earlier this week, and he said, you know, I give a lot of people down there credit because of the way not just our specific program rallied together, but the way everybody just decided to work together in all facets of their lives. He said, frankly, it's the reason I'm still coaching. It meant so much to me to see the way people came together and supported us and what we were able to do for our community. Obviously, the damage from that unspeakable tragedy was something that many in our country will never forget. The pitch is high and away. Good throw down by McLaren. Yanni puts the tag on in time.
How about that? Yanni making up for the error in a major way. He gets that ball on the first base side of the second base bag and reaches back to make the tag down there at second. That's a great play by David Yanni after committing the error. Comes right back with a good tag here. Watch that. That's great. It's close. Very close.
Hard grounder to second and through. Into right center field. Sliding stop by Perry. Poteet trying to test it, and he dives in with a double. Right out of the box. Great hustle by DJ Poteet.
Bottom 5 in the order now, all with hits for Wake Forest. He's going all the way. Look at the hustle there. A good head first slide. That is great, great hustle from DJ Poteet.
After no extra base hits yesterday, it feels like Wake Forest has an extra base hit every inning since then. But anyways, just to put a bow on the whole Coach Walter thing, I mean, it's amazing the impact it had on him, and impressive leadership for sure.
Yeah, he said that, the line that stuck out to me, he said that it renewed his faith in humanity.
Yep.
They had a number of different places open their doors. New Mexico State, they spent some time in Alabama, some different parts of Louisiana that they went through. And you know, on a personal standpoint, I was in New Orleans last weekend, and all these years later, it still has an impact on the people there. And it's great that he was able to kind of guide a group of young men through what was a tragedy and a hard situation for college students to be in a town that was, you know, just destroyed really by that terrible hurricane. And Tom Walter was kind of a guiding force and got a lot of help from a lot of people in order to keep that season afloat. And you know, his time giving to players doesn't end there. Go to 2012, and they had a player at Wake Forest, Kevin Jordan, who was diagnosed with a kidney disease. Tom Walter stepped up and donated a kidney to him. And that's the kind of guy that I think you want leading your program. And you don't expect a coach to give a kidney to a kid, but you certainly want them to care about the individual. And I think it speaks magnitudes to the type of guy that he is, that, you know, you go through a tragedy like that, you come back, and you go to a different program in Wake Forest, which is, I'm sure to many, a dream job. And he never let it kind of get too high for him, and he goes and does something like that. I think it's just a tremendous thing.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Harvey, the senior catcher, who had an RBI single last time up. Runner at second. And it's floated out into right center field. Long run over and a nice catch by Nico Popa. So Wake Forest unable to score. They strand a runner in scoring position here in the third. They still lead by 3.